Hello dear students, today we are going to learn about chapter 2 log on to access class 8. In this chapter we can discuss many more features about access. So now let's start.
Students, today we are going to learn about Microsoft Access, the most popular database software. Information is an important factor to manage our routine activities, and so is its maintenance and management to plan well for the future. From a child to an old man, a professional to a homemaker, everyone needs information. However, data in its raw and unprocessed form is meaningless, but when such data is converted into information, it can be easily interpreted. Hence, it is essential to provide a structure to the available data in a computer system and organize it, which can be achieved with the help of a database. A database is an organized collection of data. It helps us to enter, manage, access, and analyze a large amount of information quickly and efficiently. Students, let's first discuss on database and DBMS. Let us understand this through an example. Unknowingly, we all use database in our daily life. We maintain our personal address diaries, wherein we record addresses and telephone numbers of our friends. We maintain the information alphabetically so that whenever any information is needed, we could browse and extract the information quickly. From time to time, we keep on adding new addresses and also update the contact numbers and postal addresses of our friends if there is any change. All these operations that we perform like adding, updating, sorting, editing, deleting, etc. are the functions of a database. Telephone directory, a dictionary maintaining a list of students and their addresses, keeping their records pertaining to academic and co-curricular achievements. List of groceries in a grocery store, catalog in a library, list of customers in a bank, maintaining employees, information in offices and organizations, etc. are the examples of different types of database. Students, let us take a quick quiz. Give any real-life example of database apart from the one given in the chapter. It is very difficult to maintain a database manually when there are hundreds and thousands of records, as the chances of committing errors increase. The Data Management System DBMS is a computerized record-keeping system that enables you to create, modify, store, and extract information from a database. It saves our time and energy. The main function of a DBMS is to provide the users with efficient and reliable methods of data retrieval. Moreover, it reduces the chances of errors creeping into database to a great extent. Therefore, data handling using DBMS becomes fast and efficient. Students, let's know more. Microsoft SQL Server is an example of DBMS that serves database requests from multiple users. Types of database. There are mainly two types of database. Flat file database. A flat file database refers to the data files that contain records which have a small, fixed number of fields without any structured relationship. For example, Microsoft Excel. Relational database. A relational database stores the data in several tables and links those tables together to get a common piece of information. For example, Microsoft Access, Microsoft SQL, Oracle. Students, let us understand the structure of a database. A database contains a specific structure to store data. Let us study some basic terminologies used in a database that will help us in getting acquainted with the functioning of a DBMS. Number 1. Tables. Tables are the building blocks of a database. They store the complete data in a structured manner, that is, in the form of rows and columns. Every table has a finite number of columns and rows. Elements of a table. Fields. All the columns in a table are called fields. A field describes a particular attribute of all the records in a table. For example, the field that mentions the roll number of the table, students, will store the roll numbers of all the students. Records. The rows in a table are called records. A record contains the values for all the fields that belong to a single person or an entity. For example, when we enter data of all the fields such as roll number, full name, and marks for a given student, it creates a new row in a table which is called a record. Data. A set of characters that represents a valid value is known as data. For example, 3, Dipti, 90, 88 and 70 are the data values for the specific fields of the following table students. Queries. A database stores a vast amount of data, but queries help us to retrieve the filtered data based upon some conditions. Queries are also used to perform actions such as delete, update, etc. on the data based upon some criteria conditions. Forms. Forms are the user-friendly interfaces that facilitate the process of entering data in tables and queries. A form has an attractive interface that accepts data from the user and forwards it to the corresponding table or query. Reports. Reports are used to display the selected data in a printable format. They collect the summarized data from one or more tables, queries, and organize it in a printable form. Students, let us talk about advantages of DBMS. Some of the key advantages of DBMS are as follows. A DBMS provides the users with efficient and reliable methods of data retrieval. It facilitates reduction of data redundancy, duplication of data, and elimination of multiple copies of the same data at different locations. It increases the efficiency, speed, and flexibility in searching and accessing information, thus saving time and energy. DBMS facilitates sharing of data among different users based on their individual needs. In a DBMS, the data administration has a complete control over the database. It ensures that data is accessed only by the authorized users. A DBMS also supports the data integrity as it ensures that the stored data follows the customized standards of an organization. Suppose the maximum marks of an examination are set to 100. You can have rules to make sure that the database accepts the numbers only between the range of 0 to 100. Microsoft Access. Microsoft Access is the most popular and powerful relational database management system, RDBMS, that serves as an integral part of the Microsoft Office suite application. It has a graphical user interface. It is used to organize and manipulate a large volume of data efficiently. It organizes data in the form of tables. It provides the facility to create a relationship between these tables by using the common fields. A relational database enables to prevent duplication of data. Another important feature of Access is that you can add, update, delete, and view the data by using forms, find and retrieve the data in a desired way by using queries, and print the data in a specific layout by using reports. Some other popular RDBMS are Sybase, Oracle, and Structured Query Language, MySQL. Let us understand the concept of relationship with the help of an example. To maintain the student's database in RDBMS, instead of entering all the records in a single table, you will split the fields into two tables having a common column, such as roll number. Students' information table. The students' information table consists of information about students as displayed in the below given table. To enter the details of students' percentages and grades, you do not have to include all the fields in a separate table, which have already been included in the students' information table. You will take only a common field in the second table. By making a link on this common field, you can retrieve the desired set of records from both the tables. Marks table. Notice that the values of the roll number field in the marks table are the same as the values in the student's information table. You can define a relationship between both the tables using a common field, that is, roll number. Thus, by splitting information in separate tables, RDBMS reduces the duplication of data. Students, let us talk about components of a Microsoft Access 2016. Before learning about the various functions of Microsoft Access, let us get familiar with the various components of Microsoft Access window. Title bar. It is located at the top of the window and displays the name of the current database. Quick Access toolbar. This toolbar is present at the top left corner of the Access window. It contains the most frequently used command buttons. By default, it has 3 buttons which are Save, Undo and Redo. Ribbon. It contains various tabs, each with several groups of relevant commands. Some tabs appear when you work with certain objects like forms. Such tabs are called contextual tabs. Tell me what you want to do. It is a new feature which can be used to get quick help on topics that you are looking for or the commands that you want to use in your document. Navigation pane. This pane is present on the left side of the Access window. It displays the name of the objects used in the database, such as table, queries, forms, reports, etc. Navigation buttons. As the name suggests, it helps in navigating through the records. The navigation buttons display the current record number in an object. Object tabs. The objects that you have opened in a database appear right above the work area in a tab form. Clicking on any tab displays the contents in the work area. To close the current tab, click on the cross button on the right end of the bar. Status bar. This bar is located at the bottom of the window. On its extreme left, it displays the name of the current view, and on its right, it displays 4 view buttons which are Datasheet View, Design View, Pivot Table View, and Pivot Chart View. Students note that in Access 2013, no background color is given on the top menu as we get in Access 2016. This color helps the top menu stand out more clearly. Students, let me explain to you how to create a database. In Microsoft Access, there are 2 ways to create a database, either using a template or creating a blank database. An Access template helps in creating a complete database application which is ready to use. It contains 4 main objects like tables, queries, forms and reports, etc. that you need to perform a specific task. Creating a database using templates. One of the easiest way to create a table is to use a template. Follow the given steps to create a database using the template. Open Access 2016. You will find some listed templates on the right side of the window. Select the template from the displayed list. Here we have selected the updated Students template. You can get more templates by clicking on any category from the suggested searches or use the search bar to look for the online templates. The updated Students task pane appears on the screen. Specify the file name in the File Name text box. You can either use the default location that Access displays below the file name box or click on the folder icon to select another location. Click on the Create button. Access creates the database and displays the table in the form view. It contains the fields which are relevant to the student's database. Click on the Layout View button on the right side of the status bar. A new contextual tab form layout tools will appear on the title bar. Select the Add Existing Fields button in the Tools group under the Design tab. The Field List task pane appears on the right side. Select the fields from the list that you want to include in the student list database. Drag the selected field to the table and drop it where you want to position it when the insertion point appears. Students note that Access suggests a file name in the file name box and also allows you to change it as per your requirement. Creating a blank database. You can also create a database from scratch. Follow the given steps to create a blank database. Click on Blank Database option. The blank database window opens up that prompts you to specify the file name in the file name text box. By default, a system-generated database name appears in the file name text box in the format database N, where N is a number which changes sequentially as the databases are created. If required, you can change the default location by clicking on the folder icon placed next to the file name text box. Click on the Create button. A new database will be created along with an empty table name Table 1 displayed on the title bar. The Fields tab is selected by default. A new tab, that is Table Tools, will be now visible on the title bar. Students note, when you open a new or existing database in MS Access 2016, the objects in your database, tables, forms, queries, reports, etc. appear in the navigation pane. To view the objects, click on the drop-down arrow of all Access objects in the navigation pane. Students, let us understand views of a table. You can work on a table in two views, Design View and Datasheet View. Design View. In Design View of the table, you can enter the field names, their data types and description. The Design View is divided into two parts. Field Grid pane. In this pane, you can define the field names, their data types and description. Field Properties pane. This section is used to set properties for the fields defined in the table. Datasheet View. Datasheet View is used to enter data in a table. This view displays the table as a grid. The fields are displayed as columns and the records are displayed as rows. The fields' names are listed as the column header. When you double-click on the table name in the navigation pane, it opens the table in the Datasheet view. Switching between views. Microsoft Access allows you to switch from one view to another by following either of the two options. Click on the View button present in the Views group, either on the Home tab or Fields tab in the Views group, and select the desired view. Or click on the Design View or Datasheet View buttons at the right corner of the status bar. Okay, now let us understand how to add a table. Regardless of how you have created your database, you can add new tables to an existing database in various ways. These are adding tables in the Design View, adding tables in the Datasheet View, adding tables using the table templates, adding table in Design View. Click on the Table Design button on the Create tab in the Tables group. A table will be created and opened in the Design View. Adding fields in Design View. For each field in the table, type a name in the field name column and then press the tab key to move to the data type column. By default, the short text data type appears in the column. In the description column, you can type a description for each field, which is optional. The description text is displayed on the status bar when the cursor points to that field in the datasheet view. After defining all fields, save the table by clicking on the Save option in the File tab, or select the Save Present on the Quick Access toolbar. Now to add data in the table, switch to the Datasheet view. Adding table in Datasheet view. When you create a blank database, Access creates a table automatically. You can either customize this table or create another table by using the Create tab. To create a table in the Datasheet view, click on the Create tab and select the Table button in the Tables group. A new blank table will be created and opened in the Datasheet view. Adding fields in Datasheet view. Access automatically creates the first field called ID. The data type of this field is auto number, which means Access will automatically generate a sequential number in this field for each new record. You can add a new cell to the table by entering data in the Click to Add column. Access will automatically assign a data type based on the data you enter. Let us enter the first record. Click on the empty field below the Click to Add header. Enter the name of the student, example, Priya, and then press either the tab or the enter key. You will notice that Access has assigned value 1 to the ID field and named the second column as field 1. Now the Click to Add label shifts to the third column. Observe that the icon in the row selector changes to a pencil, which indicates that the record has been changed but not saved. The asterisk sign moves to the next row. Observe that two tabs fields and table appear on the ribbon under the Table Tools contextual tab. Enter the required data. Press the tab key after each entry. Save the table by selecting the Save icon present on the Quick Access toolbar. Students, let us discuss on rules for naming a field. As you already know that a table has multiple fields and each field is unique to a table. Each field has its own name and data type. Following are some rules for naming a field. A field name can change from 1 to 64 characters. A field name can include letters, numbers, and some special characters. Generally, the underscore sign is used. A field name cannot start with a blank space. A field name can be in upper, lower, or mixed case. A field name cannot have a period, exclamation, brackets, or the grave account. You can change the properties of a field name, that is storage, size, format, and validation rule by specifying certain characteristics in the field properties pane. Students, let us talk about data types. Every table consists of fields and every field has its own set of properties which describe the characteristics and behavior of data added to that field. The most important property of a field is its data type. A field's data type determines what type of data you can enter into a field. For example, a field whose data type is number can only store numeric data and does not allow you to enter text data into it. The following table depicts the available data types in Access 2016. Data types, functions, short text. It is used to store text or a combination of text and numbers that does not require calculations, such as addresses, phone numbers, etc. The fields with this data type can have maximum of 255 characters. Long text. It stores text and numbers up to 65,536 characters. It is used for descriptive fields. Number. It stores numeric information that you can use for calculations. A number data type can store integer values as well as decimal values. The maximum size of a number field can be 16 bytes. Date or time. It stores date and time values. You can display dates and times in various formats. The maximum size used by this data type is 8 bytes. Calculations related to date or time can be done in this field type. Currency. This data type is used to store monetary data up to 8 bytes. Auto number. It generates a sequential number whenever a new record is added to a table. The value in the auto number field cannot be changed. It stores data as 4-byte values typically used to create an identify column which uniquely identifies each record in a table. Yes or no. It is used at places where the field can have only one possible value. It can either be true or false, yes or no, or on or off. For example, a student can either be a male or a female. OI, object. This is used to embed an object created in another application such as Microsoft Word document, Excel spreadsheet, or PowerPoint presentation into the Access table. It stores up to 2 GB of data. Hyperlink. The hyperlink data type can store links to web pages, websites, files on an intranet, or LAN on your computer. It stores up to 1 GB of data. Attachment. This data type allows you to attach images, spreadsheet files, documents, charts, and other types of supported files to the records in your database, much similar to the manner you attach files to the emails. Calculated. This data type is used when a user creates table fields that calculate values. The calculations can include values from fields in the same table as well as built-in access functions. This data type is used mostly in the case of queries, forms, and tables. Lookup wizard. A lookup wizard helps you to create a field whose values are chosen from the values in another table, query, or list of values. By default, Access sets lookup fields to the number data type. Students, let us have a discussion on short text data type versus long text data type. Students, let us learn how to set data type for a field. You can set the data types for the table fields by working in either datasheet view or design view. Setting data type in a datasheet view. When you create a field by entering data in datasheet view, Access 2016 automatically assigns a data type to the field based on the data you have entered in the table. To define a specific data type for a field, click on the drop-down arrow of the click to add header and choose the required data type from the displayed list. Or click on the required data type that you want to assign to the field from the data type gallery present in the Add and Delete group on the Fields tab. You can reset or change the data type of a field as and when required by clicking on its header and selecting the required data type from the data type drop-down list in the formatting group. Students, let me give you a tip. If you don't find the desired data type in the data type gallery, then click on the More Fields button present in the Add and Delete group. Setting data type in design view. When you add fields to a table in the design view, by default each field is assigned a short text data type. To change or define a specific data type for a field, click on the drop-down arrow in the data type column of the field and select the desired data type from the displayed list. Students, let us talk about field properties. A field property applies to a particular field in a table and defines the characteristics of that field. Each field in a table has its own set of properties that further defines the field and how it is used in the database. You can set the properties of field in the design view as well as in the datasheet view. To set fields properties in design view, click on the field name for which you want to set the field properties. You will observe that the General tab is selected by default in the Fields Properties pane. Set the properties of all the fields as required. After finishing the task, you must save the table by clicking on the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar, or click on the File tab and select the Save option. Field Property Description. Field Size. This property is used to specify the maximum size for the data stored. It is available for short text, number, and auto number data type. Format. This property specifies the display layout of the field. It has different options for number, date, and time, and logical data. You can select a predefined format or enter a custom format. Input mask. It specifies the pattern for the data to be entered in the field. For example, you can choose the input mask for a password field as asterisk. Caption. The caption property specifies a label for a field to be displayed as the column heading whenever the table is displayed in datasheet view. It can contain up to 2046 characters. Default value. You can use the default value property to specify a value that is automatically entered in the field when a new record is created. The user can either accept this value or enter a new value. Validation rule. With the help of this property, we can limit the values that can be entered in the field. For example, if a field's validation rule is 0, then a negative value cannot be entered into that field. Validation text. This property lets you customize the error message which appears when you enter a value that violates the validation rule. Required. You can use this property to specify if a value is required in a field. It accepts two values, yes, to ensure that the field is not left blank during data entry. No, field can be left blank. Primary key. Primary key is a standard feature of every database management system. A primary key is a sort of a check on the table that every record in the table is unique. The field which is designated as the primary key of a table neither can have duplicate data nor it can be left blank while entering the data. Suppose we have a student table that contains records regarding students of a class. The student's roll number field can be set as a primary key since all the roll numbers are unique for each student. You cannot consider the student's name field for primary key as there is always a possibility that more than one student in a class might have the same name. Students know that if more than one field is combined to form a primary key, then it is called a composite key. Setting a primary key. To set the primary key, follow the steps given below. In Design View, click on the field that you want to set as the primary key. The selected field will be highlighted. Click on the Primary Key button present in the Tools group on the Design tab. Or right-click on the field and select the Primary Key option from the Context menu. The field will be set as the primary key indicated by a small key in the Field Selector column. Click on the Close button on the table window. Access prompts a message window reminding us to save the changes. Click on the Yes button to save the changes. Students, let me give you a tip. The primary key is a toggle key. To remove the primary key, check from a field. Select that field and click on the Primary Key button. Students, let us understand how to edit table in Access 2016. After entering data in a table, sometimes it is required to make changes in the database. This can be done in the following ways. To edit a record directly, scroll through the records or use the record navigation buttons to find the record to be edited. Double-click on the cell where you want to make changes. Type the information into the field. A pencil icon appears in the extreme right in the Record Selector column to indicate the edit mode. Click outside the record to apply the change. Inserting or deleting field in Datasheet view. Open a table in Datasheet view. Right-click on the field on the left of which you want to insert a new field. The Context menu appears. Select the Insert Field option. The new field named as Field 1 will be inserted on the left of the selected field. Or select the field on the right of which you want to insert the new field. On the Fields tab in the Add and Delete group, choose the data type for the field. The new field named as Field 1 will be inserted on the right of the selected field. Students, note that, likewise, you can delete a field in two ways. Right-click on the field to be deleted and select Delete Field option from the Context menu. Or select the field to be deleted and then click on the Delete option in the Records group on the Home tab. Moving a field. Click on the field header, drag and drop the field to the desired location. While dragging, you will find a thick dark line appearing between the fields. This indicates the position where the field will be placed. As you release the mouse button, the selected field will be placed at the new location. Hide or unhide fields. Right-click on the column header that you want to hide and select Hide Fields option from the Context menu. To unhide the fields, right-click on any column heading and select the Unhide Fields option from the context menu to open the Unhide Columns dialog box. Select and clear the check boxes to control which fields should be visible. Students note, likewise we can freeze or unfreeze the columns. Students, let us learn how to sort data within a table. You can sort data within a table with respect to a particular field either in an ascending or a descending order. To sort the data, follow the steps given below. Select the field that you wish to sort. Click on the drop-down arrow next to the right of the field or right-click on the field. Select either the Sort Smallest to Largest or Sort Largest to Smallest option if the field is numeric, or select the Sort A to Z or Sort Z to A option if the field is alphanumeric. Observe the change in the database. Students, let me give you a tip. The sort buttons, ascending and descending, on the Home tab in the Sort and Filter group is another way to sort the data. To clear your sort, click on the Remove Sort command on the Home tab in the Sort and Filter group. Students, let us understand how to filter data in a data sheet. You can filter the data in a data sheet. The steps to filter data in a data sheet are as follows. Click on the drop-down arrow present at the right of the column header whose data you want to filter. By default, Access selects all the checkboxes under the Text Filters option. Click on the Select All checkbox. All the selected checkboxes will be deselected as shown in the figure. Now select the items that you want to display in your data sheet. You can select as many items as you want. Here we are selecting the names of only 3 students. Click OK. The filter icon will appear at the right of the column header. It indicates that the column is filtered. If you point at the filter icon, Access shows the filter criteria. You can remove the filter by clicking on the Toggle Filter button in the Sort and Filter group on the Home tab. You will observe that the data sheet is back to its original form. Students, now let us understand how to use Advanced Filter in a data sheet. An advanced filter is quite similar to a multi-level sort in Microsoft Excel. An advanced filter can really help you to narrow down your records. This is like running a miniature query only on one table. To apply an advanced filter, select the class column header. Click on the drop-down arrow present at the right of it. Select the Number Filters option. A cascading menu appears displaying the options as shown in the figure. Select any of the options from the list. Here we are selecting the Equals option. The Custom Filter dialog box appears. Type 12 in the class is equal to text box and click OK. This displays all the records of class 12 students. Students, let us discuss that how to search in a database. There are times when you require particular data in your data sheet. It becomes very difficult when you're not sure about its exact location. The search box located at the bottom of the Access window makes it easy to search. Enter a part or whole word, phrase, date or number in the search box and press Enter. Access highlights the corresponding characters that matches your search as shown in the figure. To find the next matching record, press the Enter key again. Access finds all records that match your search criteria anywhere in your data sheets. Students, let me tell you how to close Access application. After finishing the work in Access, click on the Close option in the File tab to close the current database. To close Microsoft Access application, click on the Close button present in the extreme right of the Access window. Let me give you a tip. It is advisable to mention a short file name that relates to the information you store in your database. Students, now let me tell you how to open an existing database. Select the Open option from the File tab. Select the database from the recent list if present, or click on the Browse folder and select the desired database from the Open dialog box. Click on the Open button. The selected database will be opened. Okay students, let us take a recap of this chapter. A database is a collection of information stored in an organized way. Database is categorized as flat file database and relational database. DBMS stands for Database Management System. It is an application software which is used to create, modify and extract data from a database. It manages and organizes the records in the form of tables. Microsoft Access is the most popular and powerful RDBMS used to organize and manipulate data. Templates are pre-built database that focus on a specific task. They can be used instantly and can also be downloaded. You can work on a table in two views, design view and datasheet view. A field's data type determines what type of data you can enter into a field.